Hi guys, on today's build I have been working on these western buildings for Malifaux, and the buildings are really good, but the problem is getting units from the top to the bottom because they're tall. Since they're 4 inches tall for Malifaux, it's quite tall. So I wanted to make something to help guys get to the roof, and I was going to do some ladders and stuff like that, and then I had a thought to do some crates. So this video is how I made these little crates for Malifaux. Yeah, it's not going to come into focus. It's supposed to be something that's cheap and simple and quick, so you can make a whole bunch of them really fast. So here's the video. Like, subscribe, all that stuff.
Okay, we're going to start the build with just a sheet of cardboard. This is just cardboard from an old box I had laying around, so I just cut out a good section. I'm starting by marking off. I wanted these to be 1 inch square, so I'm just marking off 1 inch tally marks and then making vertical lines, and then after that we'll do the same thing on the other way, making 1 inch marks so that you'll have basically just a grid pattern of 1 inch squares. And on this set are 1 inch cubes, and I also did another set at the same time that were 2 inch by 1. So after making these, they're a little tall at 1 inch. I think next time if I build them, I'd make it just under 1 inch, just to give it a little bit more room after you add the sticks to it. So of course, here's all my little 1 inch square pieces, and I'm just going to use hot glue, and I'm going to glue all the sides together. My method I did here was to always glue a corrugated edge to one of the other sections and just kind of moving down the line, making a square. Sorry, a little bit out of focus here, but it's not too bad. Next step is to measure the top. I tried to fit one of those 1 inch squares, obviously it doesn't fit, so yeah, there's the boxes built. And I'm just measuring the top to see how big a squares I needed, which is just over 1 inch, of course. So I cut those out, and then just same thing, just apply hot glue and fix the top to it. It's not a big deal. Kind of an ugly looking box, but that's what they look like. Next, you can get these little skinny sticks they picked up at Walmart, and these are going to be for like the framework around the crate. So I'm just measuring these out. Each side, should be about even because these are relatively square, and just cut them out. I got a little craft stick cutter, and I just use that. You could use a pair of scissors even to do the same thing. They're not too strong to cut. So, and then just hot glue it down. And what I do is I start on the top and the bottom and glue those in first, and then do the next side so that they overlap, as you can see right there. And then for the short sections, I start in on the corrugated part that's still showing. So I just go through each section and cover up the corrugated with a little piece of that crafty stick that I cut out. After you get those all glued in, I'll just keep going around the side of the box, and I'll merge those in and make that flush with the first piece, so it almost looks like a jigsaw puzzle look to the corners when you compare it to the other pieces, so it makes it look pretty sturdy. After you get all the short sides in, which I'm finishing up the last one there, just do the same thing on the top. Just measure the top and put it in, and to where it's overlapping, and again to where the straight edge would overlap the section, so it actually overlaps. That's the kind of the look I was going for. And then stick the rest of the short sides just to cover up the cardboard. And there you have one built little box. And just rinse repeat for the rest of the boxes. To start painting, I base coated them all in black, and then I'm going to use some burnt umber. I'm just using cheap craft store paint. Just water it down a little bit and start applying it over the whole box. Just paint the whole box over the black. It's pretty simple stuff. It's not too hard. This looks like it cakes on pretty good, but it dries with that black. It dries relatively darker, so it makes it a nice dark brown. You could go over it a few times if you wanted it to be more brown, but I wanted it to have that dark look. The only other thing I'm doing is here I'm going through each of the center panels where there's cardboard, and I'm applying a second coat of the brown. I wanted the inside wood to look different than the framework. So to start painting on the framework, I just got this territorial beige, also craft store. Basically, it's just a beige color. It's a lighter tan, and then just doing a really heavy dry brush over all the framework pieces. And it brings out a little bit of the natural wood texture that's there on craft sticks, and just definitely makes it look like it's two different kinds of wood making these crates, so it's not too bad. And then I real quick dry brush stippling over the inside just to kind of give a different texture to what's on the inside. And there's the finished box. There they are. The only other thing I did is I took some red paint and I added some symbols to them. So there's some of the bigger boxes, and some of it with Malifaux figures. So thanks for watching. Game on.